Now give the floor to the distinguished representative of the Bolivian Republic of Venezuela. The floor is yours, please.
Señor Presidente,
President, the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela welcomes the convening of this conference on the comprehensive midterm review of the International Decade of Action, Water for Sustainable Development 2018-2028, as we align ourselves with the statement delivered by Cuba on behalf of the G77 and China. We also welcome the efforts of the Kingdom of the Netherlands and Tajikistan. Our country wishes to, first of all, highlight the relevance of this conference. It allows us to address matters linked to this resource. Although it is vital for life, it is not one that today all peoples of the world have access to. In accordance with figures of the UN, more than 50% of the global population suffers from water shortages. 3 out of 10 people lack access to safe drinking water services. Predictions for 2030, for their part, are not at all encouraging. If the current course is not corrected in the forthcoming years, the world could be facing a global water deficit of 40%. To this reality, we must add the negative impact of the current climate catastrophe. This has led to disruption in the water cycle itself and also to the destruction of ecosystems, loss of biodiversity, an increase in drought, environmental degradation, an increase in temperature and pollution globally. Also a fall in rainfall. All of this further exacerbates the availability and demand for water across the planet, but it also has serious implications on vital questions such as food security and supply chains. All of these are vital for life. For this reason, Venezuela not only reiterates our firm commitment to implementing the 2030 Agenda and achieving the SDGs, including the one related to guaranteeing the availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation for all, but we also insist on our call to fully and efficiently, in an absolute fashion, implement the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change and the Paris Agreement with a vision of equity and in strict adherence to the principles of shared but differentiated responsibilities. Similarly, we insist that it is now time that we change the system and not the climate. We must understand that it is the current model of predation with its unsustainable patterns of consumption and production that have led to the increasingly devastating and tangible impacts, especially in those countries that are facing greatest vulnerability. We must act urgently and as a priority in order to guarantee the preservation of a resource that is vital for every living being. It is therefore vital for the survival of present and future generations, the future generations that we have heard so much about recently in this organization. The Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela recognizes the right to water as an inalienable human right and one that is essential to enjoy a suitable standard of living. It is essential for living well. In accordance with our national constitution and equipped with a humanist vision that seeks to make social justice a reality for all, and thus guaranteeing that no one is left behind, this vital liquid is, in my country, considered a public good. This contrasts significantly not only with the policies of those who seek to commodify water and to make access to it a lucrative business, but also with those who seek to securitize water. Our country is amongst those with the largest reserves of water. It is thus one of our greatest sources of wealth. Even so, and despite the constant efforts and initiatives that have been adopted, achieving SDGs and its goals represents a great challenge for the Venezuelan state in light of the negative impact of the criminal, economic, commercial, and financial blockade imposed illegally by the government of the United States and its allies against our country. This has affected the national water system and our efforts to improve national infrastructure, including in the areas of storage, sanitation, and distribution of drinking water. All of this has a negative impact on the full realization of the human right of our people to water. Despite these external factors, we are determined to continue working to guarantee full access to water for our people. We are convinced of the need to promote water management from a perspective that seeks to meet the needs and public interest, not the needs or interests of great capital or transnational companies. President, without a doubt, the current decade gives us a special opportunity to redouble our efforts towards action on water and implementation of the agreements achieved in this area. To do this, however, we believe that it is necessary, on the one hand, to strengthen those areas linked to international financing and technology transfer, and on the other, to strengthen solidarity and international cooperation, including South-South cooperation, South-South and triangular cooperation. All of this should help to improve sustainable management of water resources and to more efficiently deal with the challenges linked to water, sanitation, the shortages of this natural resource. Without a doubt, this resource is vital in order to guarantee the full socio-economic development of our peoples. By way of conclusion, Venezuela reiterates and promotes the right to water as an inalienable human right. We categorically reject its commodification or securitization. We express our firm interest in continuing to work actively and constructively towards the implementation of all of the international agreements and commitments in the area of water and sanitation, including those derived from the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. I thank you, President.
I thank the distinguished representative of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela